going on, everyone? Jassim Ashkenani, and I finally made it to Bali. But before I got here, I had a layover in China, and more than likely, if you're traveling from the US, you will have a stop over there. So I wanted to shoot a video regarding what I learned, what I recommend, and what I messed up while I was there. Now, I think one of the greatest feelings as a traveler is to explore somewhere completely foreign, and not too many places have made me feel that way like China has. So with my layover there, I wanted to get out, explore the city, taste the food, and get a feel for what China's really like in 2018. So the first step of having a successful layover there is getting in the right line. There's going to be the transfer line and then one for the 24 to 144 hour visa. The lines can take a long time. It took me almost 2 hours to get through, so you don't want to get stuck in the wrong line. From there, you want to make sure that you have some form of payment. My credit cards, basically everywhere I went, weren't accepted. They've transitioned away from those. So unless you're using their form of digital payment, you're going to want to pick up some Chinese yuan, which you can do easily enough there at the airport. Now from there, I navigated the city using their metro system. The green line runs directly to the Chinese airport, or the Shanghai airport, and will take you basically anywhere you want to go. I took that. It cost roughly no more than $2, typically $1, and I wanted to stay under a $50 budget for this layover, so the hotel I picked was in between the airport and downtown and only cost $16 a night. It was comfortable, it was clean, and perfect for getting a couple hours of sleep before ultimately making my way into the city. Now, by the time I cleared customs, got my currency exchange, figured out the metro, and made it to my hotel, I already burned about 8 hours and was waking up pretty early at about 5 a.m. Really excited to get into the city, and the metro system wasn't running at that time. So be mindful of the hours. From what I experienced, it stops at midnight and picks up at 6 a.m., at least for my stops. Double check them to make sure. Now, my first stop, I wanted to experience some culture, so I headed to Millennium Park to see some of the Tai Chi. And immediately as I entered the park, started seeing people practicing. It was really fascinating, really interesting to see mostly older people starting their morning off this way. As soon as I made my way into the park, the sounds of the city faded and it was replaced by birds and silence. Really beautiful views there, and ultimately picked that park because it sits on the opposite end of the financial district. So as I made my way through the park, started making my way towards my goal for the day, the Oriental Pearl. So after about like a 15-minute walk from Millennium Park, finally made it down to the financial district, and the views are pretty outrageous. These monsters, these towers are giant. Amazed at like how much this city has surprised me. What I kind of expected. It is a lot at first to navigate, but once you get into the feel of it, people are really friendly here. Say ni hao, and it goes a long way. So a couple more hours before the flight, I really want to get some authentic food. Now I'm kind of in the tourist district, so we'll see if I can still make that happen. But I'm going to gradually make our way back to the airport and not miss this flight to Bali here in a few hours. So let's do it. Couldn't find any like real authentic food, and then sure enough, out of nowhere came to this, and of course gotta get a dumpling, and then this in here. It looks awesome. It's just like a light flaky pastry crust. There's an egg in there, some almost like chicharron, like crispiness, and you got chicken in there, an incredible sauce, and pretty stoked about this. Holy shit. It's so good. It's like the most amazing crepe they've ever had, with like savory chicken, little salt from the crispiness here, and it's all warm and gooey and awesome. Cheers. So there we go. Made it back. She, the mascot, not stereotypical of the China International Import Expo. 23 hours later, made it back. Got to see the financial district, or the Pearl of Shanghai. Had some authentic food, and also got to catch sunrise from Millennium Park. Overall, an amazing experience. And time to get through customs and chill out with some drinks. Make our way to Bali. Let's go. One story that needs to be told about why I'm so happy about how this layover went instead of last one. Last time Eli and I got stuck in this airport and we couldn't get out into the city because the trams weren't running at that hour. And we literally slept right here. Curled up. They had a different tree back then. We curled up under here. And needless to say, it was not a very pleasant experience. At that point, it was February. It was freezing in here. I didn't have any shoes. It's a whole nother story. All I had was socks and sandals, and we were freezing in here. Our layover was about 13 hours after 32 days spent in Thailand, and we were just completely exhausted. The icing on the cake was at one point in the night I got a beer to fall asleep and accidentally spilled it all over Eli, and he woke up thinking that he had pissed himself. This layover, needless to say, went a lot better than that.